All righty. Finally. We have come back for another TikTok Trash Tuesday. What it do, everybody. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and all that bull crap that goes along with it. And if you hit the like button, especially if you're on, well, it's not especially, it's only if you're on the vertical. If you're on the vertical, you hit like. It's going to show you a hype button. You can hit the hype button, and that's kind of like a super like. That gets this out to more people, supposedly, though I do know some of you have been hyping some of the videos. Thank you for that. If you are one of those people that has done that, thank you. But that said, does it help? I don't know. I haven't been able to necessarily see the results of that. So who's to say? Could you fucking lay down, bud? I got to get this dog's nails clipped, dude. He is back to clicking and clacking like a son of a bitch. And I don't know where you're at right now. Just go lay down wherever it is, dude. Holy. He's a bit much. But, jeez. That's Bronson for you, everybody. All right. Anyways, well, thanks for hanging out here. Hit that like and subscribe button, all that kind of good crap right here on TikTok Trash Tuesday. What I do is I go out to movie TikTok every single week. Have a fucking seat, buddy. Just lay down. Over there, anywhere. Just stop walking on the fucking floor. Thank you, bud. My goodness. All right. Take your spot. This is what we're asking for here. Holy jeez. What the hell were we talking about? Oh, yes, it's TikTok Trash Tuesday, everybody. Not Bronson annoys the piss out of Adam Day. But don't worry, we won't Hassan Piker this dog. I won't do that. I love him, despite his behavior sometimes. I still love this old jerk. Anyways, hit that like and subscribe button. If you love Bronson, hit the like button 3 times. Because if you do it twice, I think that technically it would go off. So hit it 3 times for Bronson. Oh, I hate your guts. Anyways, well, let's get into it. Hopefully all my stuff saved from previous and we can figure it. Hold on. No, most assuredly it did not. Give me just a second here. All right, cool. Like I said, every single Tuesday, we go out to movie TikTok. We find out what's going on and we bring it back to you. And I usually like to have a little bit of a theme. And this has always kind of been my theme for TikTok Trash Tuesday. Dig on this, everybody.
This is your reminder that today to be a real bad person because hating is free as fuck. It don't get more free than being a hater. Just like you can be kind for free, you can hate for free. So this is the day, free pass, be a hater. Hate.
Let's go, everybody. That's what TikTok Trash Tuesday is all about. Not really. Sometimes I'm nice. But we're going to call it that I'm a mean jerk and a half on this one. Let's go.
It was recently announced that...
Oh, it's Pat. I can't be mean to Pat. This is no good. But okay, Tales from the Crypt. Let's dig on it because I think this is going to be a big topic.
The complete original series of Tales from the Crypt will be streaming for the first time ever. It's coming to Shudder on May 1st. And to celebrate, here are my 5 favorite episodes. But keep in mind, I have not seen this show since it originally aired. First and foremost...
Now, I do want to say this before he first and foremost. I'm going to first and foremost everything here and say this is cool. This is a cool thing because Tales from the Crypt was not available for streaming at a long time here. No one knows where they could get it. You would think it would be available on HBO, but you would be wrong. And it's going on Shudder. Now, a lot of people are saying, and I think this is kind of funny, but maybe it's true, is that it's interesting how we lose Joe Bob Briggs, but we gain Tales from the Crypt. And one wouldn't imagine that the Tales from the Crypt would have been all that cheap. So we lose Joe Bob Briggs, but we gain Tales from the Crypt. I don't know. Now, granted, Tales from the Crypt has been available on DVD for quite some time. Was it ever out on Blu-ray? I don't know if it was ever out on Blu-ray, but it was a show I remember being scared the hell out of, despite kind of seeing the Crypt Keeper and kind of laughing enough at what he did and stuff like that. But I was still a scaredy cat kid, man. I wasn't watching horror stuff way back then.
On My Brain, Season 1, Episode 2, and All Through the House. Directed by Robert Zemeckis, about a deranged, axe-wielding Santa who escaped from a mental asylum. This version of Santa was the stuff of absolute nightmares for me. Does anybody else remember Season 6, Episode 2, Only Skin Deep? It's about this violent sociopath who goes to a Halloween party hosted by his ex-wife and meets this mysterious masked woman. I remember it.
I will not go to any Halloween party hosted by my ex-wife. She won't do it. Can't really think of a reason why one would go to a Halloween party hosted by her ex-wife. Seems a little bit stupid.
Having a really good twist, but these masks specifically always scared the shit out of me as a kid. How about Season 5, Episode 3, Forever Ambergris? It's about this washed-up photographer who plots the demise of his more talented protege when they go on assignment in Central America. It stars Roger Daltrey, Steve Buscemi, but the highlight here, I remember this having really gross-out special effects makeup. Then there's Season 3, Episode 4, Abracadabra.
Abracadabra, I want to reach out and grab you. Perhaps some of the worst lyrics ever written by man.
Just plays this would-be surgeon who's unable to realize his dreams due to a cruel prank that was played on him by his brother. It's a tale of revenge and sibling rivalry, and I remember it being kinda gnarly. Last up, Season 2, Episode 10, The Ventriloquist Dummy. Written by Frank Darabont and directed by Richard Donner. I remember this one really fucked me up. The dummy is actually the ventriloquist's conjoined twin. It's got really weird basket case vibes. Cool. I loved how terrified this made me as a kid.
Hell yeah, man. Listen, I'm not going to lie to you. Joe Bob was one of the main reasons that I was keeping Shudder around. But with him gone, I don't know that there's going to be a big thing. But I have the Tales from the Crypt is something that I would like to go back to. And again, that was also something that I didn't really want to drop $200 on a DVD set and everything. But, a Shudder subscription for a little bit to check out some of those Tales from the Crypt episodes may not be the worst thing in the world. When Joe Bob dies, he'll probably become a real crypt keeper. Ooh, okay. Hear me out. We get some sort of puppet maker person, right, to design a Joe Bob crypt keeper, if you will, for lack of a better term. You know what I mean? But we have him. He's styled just like Joe Bob Briggs. He's got the bolo tie, sometimes a hat, sometimes not a hat. You never quite know. But all the accoutrement that would be Joe Bob Briggs, we would put on this dead thing. And then once Joe Bob is gone, it's going to happen. It's going to happen to all of us kids. It's inevitable. But once it does happen, if we can program, AI should be developed enough at that point to where we can take the breadth of his work and everything and kind of just funnel it into a thing and then make the robot do that. And make the robot just be like the dead Crypt Keeper version of Joe Bob Briggs. That's my plan. I'm submitting it to Congress this Thursday. I would hope that you would sign. Please like and subscribe to make sure that that all happens. Thank you.
Okay, a lot of you are probably going to hate me for this post, but...
Yeah, it's called 5 Reasons Why the Movie Alien Sucks. So, yeah, we're probably going to hate you, but let's wind up the hate machine, baby, because, I'm
giving you 5 reasons why the movie...
My number one reason for you is, why the hell are you using a Mr. Microphone? What the hell's going on here? We're transmitting this through an AM radio station. What's happening here? This can't be connected to your phone. Is it connected to the radio in the back? And she just goes, that's going to make it louder.
The alien sucks. Okay. Number 2.
She consults her notes for that one. She just goes, and alien sucks. Yes, it does, lady. She's like, all right, good. Got that first note. That's a good one. Well, what's next?
Number 1. Ripley's mean to her cat. And that's near the beginning of the movie.
First of all, that cat's an asshole. That cat is a jerkwad, man. That cat is stupid. That cat is going everywhere. And again, another reason why you don't bring any feline companions onto a spaceship. absolutely stupid to be doing that. But she's right to hit that cat. And let's be honest, cats, though, at the same time, too. I want to preface this by saying I'm not for animal abuse. I love animals. You see that dumb animal wherever he's down there now. But I love animals. But let's be honest, cats, they can take a beating. You know what I'm saying? It's not a nice thing to say, but it's a true thing.
And just
Oh, I'm not putting that up there, Alex. But I think that's funny. I'll just say that. I'll say
left
that.
a really gross taste in my mouth the first time I saw it. Number 2, I feel like the pacing is off. It's way too slow.
No, it's the perfect pacing. That's what's so cool about that movie, is that it is that kind of slow burn. It is that let's give you an idea of what it is like for these, for lack of a better word, space oil truckers, right? What's it like for them? And then what happens when, oopsie-daisy, something broke through a mask?
I'm always waiting for something to happen that doesn't.
Like what's the inciting incident? When does it, what? Okay, I'm going to type this into a search engine. Hold on. When? Wait, no, not when. How? Chest burster in Alien is at what time code? Okay, it's an hour and a half, so that is a little long. But like, it's the tension of it all. Is it an hour and a half? That's what this thing says. Let's see. 1 hour and 25 minutes. It's a hell of a lead up, though, right? Like when it happens, you're like, fuck.
Doesn't happen. Number 3, I feel like the screenwriting was weak and the plot is poorly explained.
If Dan O'Bannon was alive, he'd come and do unspeakable things to you. Unspeakable. Dan Schuser, he'd be all right, though.
And that brings us to reason number 4. Nothing really happens until Aliens.
You mean the sequel? Or until the alien shows up, you mean?
Like, yeah, we get the action in Aliens, but... And the 5th reason is I got 11 minutes into my rewatch of Alien last night, and I was so massively bored.
Okay. There it is. There it is. She's telling you the truth now. Is that she tried to watch this movie, she was bored, and now she made a TikTok talking about, here are the top 5 reasons it stinks. It's called you got bored last night, sweetheart, because you have a short attention span now.
That I had to turn it off. So there you go. There's 5 reasons why Alien sucks. Have a great day.
Right up yours, Ridley Scott. Don't know how you're going to recover from that one, bucko. Good luck.
Okay.
Man. Must be a tough day for Sir Ridley Scott. What's next?
The Graduate opens with Benjamin Braddock coming home after finishing.
I was like, hold on. There's a square-headed man who wants to talk about The Graduate. I thought that was an interesting play. So, okay, let's go.
College. Everyone around him is celebrating. His parents throw a party, and people keep asking the same question. What's next? But Benjamin never really answers it. Instead, he spends the entire summer drifting through his parents' house.
And see, this is the thing that, like, I think younger generations could do to see a movie like The Graduate and go, hey, everything is not as new as it seems sometimes. Even back here in the 60s, we got people that are just kind of floating through life who have that next sort of moment that is that's going to happen for them that, they have no clue what he's doing. He's flying by the seat of his pants. And I'm sure he's going to talk about other aspects of the film. But nothing new is nothing old is new. New is old. I don't know.
There's a famous shot where he's floating in the family pool. Not really swimming, just floating. Days start.
Everybody was floating at this time, weren't they? You got this one, you got Harold and Maude. Everybody's floating.
To blur together. He wakes up late, walks through the house and stares at the ceiling in his bedroom. Simon and Garfunkel keep playing while time quietly passes by. Eventually, he starts an affair with Miss Robinson, but even that doesn't feel like movement. It feels like another way of staying suspended in place. The movie stretches the summer longer and longer, until it starts feeling uncomfortable, like something that was supposed to be temporary has lasted too long. Benjamin isn't nostalgic for college. He's just stuck in the space right after it, and the film keeps returning to that same image. Benjamin in the pool, floating, not moving forward, not moving back, just drifting.
Yeah, and then of course, I mean, one of the most iconic things, obviously, is the ending of the movie, and you got two people, sitting on the back of a bus and looking at each other and going, what have we done? There's a lot of people that when they saw that scene, they read it as like, oh, look at them, they're super happy, they're ready to go, they're going to be starting their life. It's like, no, baby, no. If you've been there, if you've been through a little bit of something we like to call life, you look at the end of The Graduate and you go, oh boy, they're in for it. They're in for it, man. Once you're down there with an Adam, you'll float too. Oh, don't we all? Don't we all? All right, what's next?
Star Wars would be better if it had stayed just a standalone movie.
Agreed. Yeah. We talked about it. There were a lot of talk on the internet. One of my old kind of on this day TikToks came up where I was talking about if we only had Austin Powers, just the original, we would be so much happier if we just had that and that alone. It would have been an amazing time, but no, we had to go and ruin it and do a whole bunch of sequels and other things like that. Mr. McCarthy here is saying we're doing something a little different. Star Wars, are you? He's gonna say all three of them, and I think there's a part where he's gonna be right. He's gonna be right. I haven't watched this whole thing, but let's react.
Never bought this whole George Lucas had it planned all along, despite
Which he did not. He did not at all. George is a liar, an opportunistic liar, and a very he just wants some money. Come on.
what he says a lot of stuff. I don't think he had 3 trilogies in mind. I don't even think he had 1 trilogy in mind.
Correct.
The fact that episode 4 got added to the title crawl after the fact.
Correct.
Don't get me wrong. Don't pull your neckbeard out just yet. I love all of Star Wars.
They're good stuff. They're good stuff. But if you just had Star Wars, just think about the end of the movie. The Death Star blows up. Good conquers evil. All is right in the world. And you never see anything again. Man, talk about good. Like, you've left at the absolute zenith of it all if you just stop right there. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, Jedi, and there's a lot of, or excuse me, not Jedi, but Empire, and you're going to have a lot of good points. A lot of good points. But it doesn't end well, does it? It ends on a bummer. That's rough. That's rough. And in order to fill it all out, you have to have Jedi. Jedi's not horrid, but is Jedi Empire? No. No, it is not.
I don't follow all of it. There's too much. I haven't even watched Endor yet. Or was it called Andor?
Andor. And Andor is good. And he's right. Not all of it is great. And the best part is you don't have to watch all of it. If you don't want to watch the animated stuff, you ain't got to watch the animated stuff. If you don't want to watch the other ancillary bullcraps, thank Christ almighty you don't have to. If you don't want to watch the Boba Fett show, God bless. And probably good for you for saving some time.
I don't fucking care. I hear it's great, but that's not my point. Star Wars, I don't even
Nothing but Star Wars. Sorry.
call it A New Hope. That is such... The movie is called Star Wars.
Mhm.
Star Wars
Correct.
is a movie about movies. It's about the old Republic serials like The Crimson Ghost. The same way that Scorsese or Tarantino make movies about movies. Star
Exactly. I don't think people talk nearly enough about that.
Star Wars has more in common with the movie Grindhouse than anything else. It was about recreating an experience of a filmmaker's formative years.
Exactly, of a time gone by that they yearned would actually be back and everything. And that to me was what was so cool about the Grindhouse experience, was it was something that you couldn't get anywhere else. And I saw it in a rundown crappy movie theater. It was an absolutely amazing experience, and sometimes you just can't recreate that stuff.
It would be a much better movie if there was still mystery around what happened to Luke's dad, who is.
Yep, it's that whole Patton Oswalt thing where it's like, you don't want to hear where things came from. I just don't give me all the ingredients to ice cream. I just would like some ice cream, please.
Darth Vader. People were like, well, Darth Vader means Dark Father. And that's the way it would have been in that era. You wouldn't have been there every single week to catch every single installment of the serial. Maybe you only saw this one piece of a story out of context. I think that exploring every single nook and cranny of a universe, expanding that universe, it kind of spoils the charm of it. In the Sherlock Holmes books, Watson would always mention other cases that weren't books, that we never got to hear about.
Which is so cool, isn't it? Don't you not want to know what the Kessel Run is? Like, it's so much cooler if you don't know.
It added to the depth of the story in this larger universe. Like when Weapons came out, people were all clamoring, like, "Oh, we want an Aunt Gladys prequel," and I was like, I don't know if that's such a good idea.
Why? Everyone is just a curious little Nelly who always needs to know why. I want to know what the origin is. Can't you just be satisfied? Can't you just be happy? Why do you need more? Eat your meal and then poop it out. You know what I'm saying?
And now they're making it. I'm sure it's going to be great, but isn't it scarier not knowing?
Yes, it's way better not knowing. It's like it's the Rob Zombie Halloween. Do you want to know the history of Michael Myers? You shouldn't, because it's way scarier not to know anything. But if you know he comes from a crazy, abusive background and stuff like that, I'm not saying that you say it's okay for him to do what he does, but it takes the craziness out of it. All of a sudden, like the fun is there is a child that goes bonkers one day for who knows what reason, and he's just a psycho. That's what's cool about that stuff. You don't need to always go in and search for the backstory of everything. Let something be itself and move on. So in other words, social media has ruined movies. In many a sense, I think that's a correct statement. Yeah. I think social media has ruined it a whole lot. I think we're going to talk about some of these other things in this week's episode, because I know some of the topics that are coming up. I don't watch the entire videos, but I obviously, because I'm saving the videos and I know something about them, we'll be talking about some of that topic later on. So keep an eye out for that. Plus, I've had enough negative portrayal of witchcraft in cinema. What? I'm sorry. What are the good witches, MVD? Are you a good witch or a bad witch? Tell me about these good witches, and if their name is anything other than Glinda, I feel like we need to figure it all out. So just let me know in the chat. What's next?
Streaming movies cannot give you that feeling of going to the video store shelf and looking at the movies, picking up a title, looking at the cover, and just deciding, is this what you want to bring home? And it's just a lost art form in a weird way. Because you had to make judgments. You had to use your discernment skills in order to pick out a movie that you would hope would actually be good. And the big part of that also is that you had a limited amount of time. You had to get home eventually. So you had a limited amount of time to get there. You had a limited selection with which to choose from. And somebody else might choose the thing that you might want. So you do need to make your selection in a timely enough manner. And then when you do, you pay for that rental. You pay for that one. And now, since you have paid for it, you're on the clock. Now you're on the clock and you've got X amount of time to watch that movie and return it back to the location. So you actually have some skin in the game now. You've paid a little bit of money. You've got an assignment. You've got a time frame with which you've got to put all of these things together. You're much more apt to like a movie. You're much more apt to give a movie a better chance if you've got all of those factors into play. Now, I'm not saying that we all need to go start paying for every single movie that we rent or something like that, but just something to think about.
I'm so convinced that we watched movies more intently back then, because when you rented this, you were stuck with it until you brought it back to get another film.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, stuck with it is an interesting way to look at it there, Christian. But I think in a way, yeah, it's just called you made a selection. Even if you think the movie stinks, I would bet dollars to donuts that the good amount of you out there, if you were watching a movie back in the day that you rented, you probably finished that movie just on account of I paid for it. I've got it for this amount of time. How many times did you watch something for 10 minutes and go, this fucking sucks, and then just you turn it off and hit rewind and pop it out and throw it at no. You watch the whole thing because you paid for it.
I don't think streaming is evil, but I do think streaming has made enjoying and watching movies more superficial than it used to be. Yeah, I know physical media takes up space, but I'm sure you can look at these titles over here and there's some of these that you remember looking at the shelf, grabbing, and then deciding, this is the one I'm going to take home and watch. Good times.
Yeah, you actually had to make a decision. You had to put something on the table. It was great, unless you did a cool thing like me. I don't know if anybody else was in this game. But Blockbuster had a thing where you could pay. I don't remember how much it was. I feel like it was $30. It might have been less. It might have been a little more. I don't know, but I feel like $30 was the answer. But they would let you rent a movie every single day. You had to return the movie, obviously, the next day to get the new one, but they would let you do that for 30 days. And I did that for months before Netflix was a thing. And I think Netflix even started delivering DVDs around that time. And I was like, there was certainly a moment where I had both Netflix and the Blockbuster 30-day thing, man. It was bananas. I watched so much DVD. I know VHS was a huge one for a lot of people, but boy, DVD and the advent of mail-in DVDs and stuff like that, I watched so many movies that way, dude. Crazy. Yeah, that's the problem. There are a few positive portrayals of witchcraft. Give me a movie about witchcraft where the church is the villain, because in real life the church was the villain. Well, I mean, what are they doing that's so good? Somebody's stopping them for something, aren't they? They're not stopping them because they're helping elderly. I don't know what witches might do. Libraries are just Blockbuster, but you got to get the movies for free. Oh, the last 2 weeks, our buddy Pat has been talking about that. He did 2 videos talking about using the public library as his Blockbuster video. And he would go and get a movie and then a snack from the vending machine and everything. I feel like the snack from the vending machine is a fun idea, but one that's far too damn expensive. But then again, going to the movies is far too damn expensive. And I suppose if you haven't paid for the rental of the DVD, then maybe it's all a wash.
Sony's film CEO just called out movie theaters for their shittiest practices while he was speaking on stage at the movie theater owner's biggest convention.
I'm telling you, there's so much. This guy, I am going to applaud him heavily. I had to download this one because this guy doesn't allow you to download the thing, so I have to screen capture, and I'm going to keep doing it. If it's a good story, if it's a good enough one that I want to talk about, that's what I'm going to do. Damn it. But this executive is a man after my own heart, and he's like one of the reasons that I want to go and be there's no reason that I would be there because I'm nobody, but this is the reason why I'm going to start putting in my application for being the keynote speaker at CinemaCon, because they need to keep hearing stuff like this more and more. Dig on this.
So, CinemaCon is going on right now. It's the big yearly convention in Vegas where the movie studios hype what they've got coming up to movie theater owners and the press. It kicked off last night with Sony's presentation. They showed new images from Beyond the Spider-Verse, a new clip from Spider-Man Brand New Day, and trailers for Resident Evil and Jumanji Open.
Oh, what's that? Hollywood doing the same old crap? Okay.
World. But what I want to talk about is the tough words Sony Pictures CEO Tom Rothman had for movie theaters. Quote, admissions are clearly down from pre-COVID and we all have urgent work to do. Rothman said it was on the studios to deliver great movies, but the theaters also have to step up.
Who's been saying this? Who's been saying this? This guy right here, forever and a day. I have always said that this is a movie theater problem. This is a movie patron problem, and this is a movie studio problem. This is the trifecta of dumb. You've got three dum-dums all battling it out, and it's the Three Stooges effect where they're all trying to get through the door at the exact same time. Knuckleheads.
One, he said, enforce longer windows, even if that means you cannot play every film. Two,
Yes. There should be longer windows. Again, I'm going to go into this. I got another video that's in mind. Do you know how long it took for E.T. the Extraterrestrial to come out on home video? Home video was happening in 1982. But it was years before it came out on home video. Years. Now it is literally 30 to 45 days and it's on a streaming platform. Who is going to go to a movie theater and pay $15 a ticket when they can just wait 30 days? Yeah. Lengthen the windows, dumbasses. Why don't you make us wait a long time and then put it out on a format, then put it out on, there's so much opportunity here and everyone is just putting their head up their ass. I don't get it.
get rid of the endless advertising and substantially shorten the long pre-shows.
Listen, that is the least of people's problems. And if you haven't caught on to the pre-show and the trailer stuff yet, you're a dingbat, all right? I'm just going to say it. You're stupid and you can't put two and two together. It's around 15 to 20 minutes worth of stuff. Everywhere you go, look at your time. If you got an assigned seat, do it. Quit being a baby about it. And I know where some of this is going to go, but let's move on.
Off the ad track. Rothman explained that people now know to show up late to avoid all of those ads, but that means they, quote, don't even see the trailers, which results in enticements gone to waste. And
guess what, motherfucker? We don't want to see all these trailers either. That's another reason why I come at a later time. It is not only just to skip the pre-show stuff, watching ads that I could care less about, watching Maria Menounos or God knows what happened. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't want to see any of that stuff. And I don't want to see trailers because all of you jackholes ruin everything with trailers. You ruin it. What is the point of us going to see a movie if every single thing that is awesome in the movie is put in the trailer to get us there? Because if we don't see the awesome stuff, then they're too stupid to go to the movie. I don't get it. Just stop being stupid.
And three, affordability is by far the hardest. Going to the movies must become affordable.
Again, who's been saying it? Who's been saying it? Again, I want to see hands up in the chat. If you could go see a movie Monday through Thursday for a ticket, a popcorn, and a soda for the price of $10, how often would you go to the movies? I bet it would be 3 to 4 times more than you currently do. What if those tickets were just $5 a piece? Would you go back to the movies? Would you go to the movies much more? I think you would.
Again. And to all of that, I just say, finally. Finally, someone is saying these things. And
Adam Porters has been saying for literally years now, but okay.
It's someone of immense power in Hollywood confronting the theaters,
All right, so I'm not that. Fair enough.
At their own event, which is just wild. Make it cheaper, show fewer ads, expand the windows. If the movie theaters actually listened to this advice, it could make a huge difference.
Which means they won't. Again, you have to serve all the masters, right? You have to be smart at the distribution level, you have to be smart at the theater level, and you have to be smart at the patron level. You have to serve all three of these. And if you cannot do it, you will fail and your entire industry will crumble. Part of getting those studios back together and getting a brain in their head is, getting them out of Hollywood and understand, like, they're in their own cesspool. They're dying and they're the ones responsible. That's the craziest part about all of this is everyone's complaining and they don't realize it's you. You're the problem. And I mean that to moviegoers too. Moviegoers, you are also the problem. You're a whole bunch of buttholes who won't go to see anything unless it's something that your dumbass recognizes. It's not good. I only watch movie trailers in the theater. I usually agree with that. And if I'm going to watch one, I hope that it is a movie theater. I hope that it is in a movie theater. I'll tell you this, the most famous person who ever responded to me on Twitter was way back in the day. When was it? There was like a new Iron Man trailer that was going to come out. Like maybe it was the second Iron Man trailer, something like that. It was either the first or second Iron Man trailer, and it was coming out. It was debuting online first or whatever, and I didn't want to see it online. I wanted to see it in the theater, so I tweeted at Jon Favreau, what would it be attached to, and it was like attached to a Harry Potter movie or something like that. And so I just thought that was cool. I was like, oh shit, Jon Favreau tweeted back to me to tell me what movie that trailer would be attached to, because I would much rather see that in a movie theater. And the cool part is when you see that in a movie theater, it's there and then it's gone. And then you can't rewind. You can't say, what are you saying? Slide it back or nothing. Like, you're done. You're finished. And that's the cool part. Pre-show ads are terrible, though. Why am I watching a cell phone ad or a ChatGPT ad right before my movie? And you are right. And there is a couple of times where this does happen that sucks really, really hard. And that is when they insert them even in between trailers. And you're like, why the fuck are we getting a Samsung ad in between? It takes you out of everything. And that, again, another reason why you show up late. I miss Showplace 6, my town's old $2 theater. Man, we had a $2 theater, second run theater when I was living in Orlando. And then on a regular $2 theater, but on Tuesday nights, tickets were 75 cents. Woo! You talk about packed. This is 2003, right? 2003, a ticket to a movie, second run theater, but a ticket to a movie, 75 cents. I went to see Freddy versus Jason. It was sold out. Sold out. The audience ruckus. It was amazing. Same thing with Bad Boys 2. That was a day where I did a double feature you could never imagine in your life. Seabiscuit and Bad Boys 2. I left the theater at 1 a.m. and I spent $1.25. Now, I did buy popcorn and a soda, and I got refills in between the flicks and stuff like that. But even that was only like, $10 more. So, woo, what a night. Very cool. I disagree. I would pay more to keep trash out. What trash people? I'm about keeping those trash out. I think movie trailers before the movie are necessary for the normies to know what's coming out. Agreed.
because they aren't like you and me aren't tracking stuff on film, Twitter, social media. I think they do. I mean, I think they need these trailers, but we need to get more into the idea of like your teaser trailers. The time that they actually do trailers right, I would say, their last couple of films and everything have been Star Wars teaser trailers for like the main Star Wars 7, 8, and 9. All of those teaser trailers were great because it was John Williams music, Star Wars imagery. It was just like a hype video. All it was is just like, here's this. It's just a lot of stuff that's very out of context, just a whole bunch of Star Wars music. And you're like, shit, I really got to see me a Star Wars movie. And you know what? Marvel movies, all of them can be like this for the most part, is give us the basic sort of stuff, give us a quick little highlight reel, and keep us teased. Keep us teased to go there. I've always said that they could have put any Star Wars thing of just saying, coming this May, Star Wars blappity blap. And then guess what? People would show up. They would. All you got to do is just put Star Wars in a black background, call it the something or other, and then boom, MFers are showing up. I'm telling you. Disruptive people. Well, listen, man, you're going to do what you do. Independent studios know how to make a trailer like A24 and Neon. Those big, yeah, that's exactly. Those, they tend to do better trailers and stuff over there. But even then, I don't even try to watch any of those, especially for any type of horror movie or something like that. No, sirree, Bob. Whenever I'm watching, I'll watch a horror movie trailer like this. They're going, here's the basic plot of the movie. Here's like maybe the first half of a twist or something like that. And I'm closing my eyes. I've already been sold. I'm like, nope. You're doing this. You're trying to like, you're going like listening to the sound design, trying to pick up like, oh, when are they throwing things in the back cues or something like that? That's what I try to do. I try to like, I swear to God, man, I plugged my ears and started humming and, you do what you got to do to not have to be spoiled. And they want to do everything in their power to spoil the shit out of you. And that's what's annoying.
The director of The Incredibles is about to release his decades-long passion project.
Those always work out well, don't they?
And nobody is talking about it. Brad Bird, who directed The Iron Giant, Ratatouille, and Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, has been
mediocre films, if we're all honest.
Silently working on a film that he wrote before I was born, and we finally have some updates.
Did we notice how? Am I wrong? Hold on. Yeah, I thought so. We're not talking about Tomorrowland. You didn't use that one. You didn't. Okay. I was fairly certain. I'm like, didn't he do Tomorrowland? And didn't that suck balls?
Back in the mid-90s, Brad Bird started developing an animated sci-fi noir film called Ray Gun. No.
Yeah! Put her out there, that Aussie fucking, what do you call it there? A breakdancer?
A different...
I had to struggle for what it was because what she's doing technically in no way, shape, or form is breakdancing. It's more just like a bit of a heart attack to set the music.
Ray Gun. There you go. And it's a mystery film set in an alternate future following Raymond Gunn, the last human private detective, in the sprawling city of Metropia, inhabited by both humans and aliens. Bird describes Ray Gun as a blend of sci-fi and classic detective movie. It's Maltese Falcon meets Buck Rogers. And one
Okay, I mean, like, listen, coming from someone that's his age, that whole influence, not surprising.
One of the goals for the film is to prove to people who are adverse to animation that there is endless potential for the art form. And it's
so it's animated. Okay, I like that. I like that.
Also going to be a bit grittier and more adult than the average animated film. Now, over 3 decades ago, he had written a script and made concept art, but the project kept getting sidelined. First, he was pulled in to direct The Iron Giant, and then Pixar opted for his treatment that became The Incredibles. And the
so he just had like quite the career got in the way,
project was just dormant for decades until 2022, when it was announced that he'd be reviving the project for Skydance Animation. Since that announcement, there haven't been that many updates on Ray Gun other than it's supposed to release in 2026 on Netflix until
boy, that's a sweet Shunzi fastball right there.
Yesterday, when we finally got some first look images as well as some casting announcements. The titular Ray will be voiced by Sam Rockwell, and Scarlett Johansson will be voicing the pop star Venus Nova. Tom Waits also joins the cast as Ira, Ray's one-eyed compatriot. By the way, working on Ray Gun
Oh, do you think Tom Waits' character is gonna talk like this?
Is the reason why Brad Bird stepped down from directing Incredibles 3, which should just show you how important this film is to him. He really hasn't worked for Pixar
That must have been some bank.
full time since he wrapped on Incredibles 2, and I'm sure Disney really had to twist his arm just to get him to write the screenplay for the third one, but his focus has really been on getting to make this passion project under John Lasseter and without Disney's oversight. I've been looking forward to this film since they announced
So it's probably gonna kick ass, that movie. But no one will see it. It's going to Iron Giant itself. Let's be honest. That's what that just sounded like, unfortunately.
they were reviving it, and I'm so glad to finally see some updates. Now all we need is a release date and a trailer. Follow to stay up to date on original animation.
There you go. Not too bad. Disney thinking all of their attractions can become movies. It's that's there's just I'm trying to the Matterhorn. Put that in there. Why not? Why not?
Your top 5 survival horror movies. And if you don't see your favorite survival horror movie on this list,
Blow it out your ass. That's what he should say. That's what I would say.
make your own goddamn list.
Okay, well, it kind of does.
What do I care that it's missing from my list? At number
That's true. That's true. It is his list.
5, Backcountry from 2014. The bear sequences in this are simply second to none. I don't know how they did it, but it's incredibly fucking realistic.
Guy in bear suit.
The best bear attack scenes ever put to screen, second only to maybe The Revenant. Number 4, I have Speak No Evil from 2022, the Danish version, not the American remake, which in a lot of ways is actually the antithesis of survival, given the main character's complete and total lack of self-preservation. But I think that's the catch here. Wanting the people on screen to survive more than they do makes for an infuriating watch, which is what makes this such a compelling and horrifying experience.
I like how you have a vote for Jungle Cruise for this category. It's good stuff.
At number 3, I have The Road from 2009. About a
Man, what a great movie, but boy, oh boy, do you just want to walk into traffic.
father and son traversing a post-apocalyptic, cannibalistic landscape. But instead of nonstop carnage, this is a purposely contemplative and somber watch. And although a tall task, I do think it does Cormac McCarthy's original material justice. Nobody builds tension as effectively as Jeremy Saulnier, and Green Room from 2015 is one of his best films. A brutally violent and grounded siege thriller that blends horror and punk aesthetics in a really claustrophobically intriguing way. But at the
It is a movie that you're just kind of squirming in your seat the whole time, just going like, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And the same, man, I will tell you this, like when I was younger, I was going through all of the AFI's top 100 films of all time. I wanted to watch all of those before I was 18, and I did. And of course, on that list was Deliverance. And, you know, you see it when you're younger and like, you know, you obviously, I understand everything that's going on, but like you don't see it for what that movie kind of is until you watch it a couple times, especially once you're older and everything. But once you do, it's good. It's a good movie, and it's the constant man of like, hey, we're taking this to our grave, okay?
At the end of the day, Deliverance from 1972 will forever be in my one spot. A film that you truly cannot prepare yourself for. What's set up as a guy's getaway weekend quickly turns into a raw, intense, profoundly traumatic experience.
And no, I think a lot of people, obviously, they remember like the part, you know what I'm saying? But they forget how like they were also just beat to hell and stuff because they're going on this, you know, like it was like canoe trip and stuff like that. They're getting beat the hell up here. Burt Reynolds that spends half the movie, you know, crippled, you know?
Like any other movie, truly.
Damn right. First of all, Todd Gack, beautiful. Absolutely. I know, brother. I know. Todd Gack. That's good stuff. That is good stuff, my friend. So what are the qualifiers as survival horror? Night of the Living Dead? I would say that's a survival horror. Yeah. For sure. The kid has big hands. Who doesn't? Who doesn't have some big? Look at that. Amazing. And at 43, I'm glad that you're calling me a kid. That's great.
Sony's up first, so let's start with them.
All right, so a cinema preview. This is Sony Pictures. So CinemaCon is going on right now, as we heard. So let's see what Sony had for us.
First thing I'm fully expecting, Rob.
I guess maybe this happened. Maybe this was their guess for what was coming at CinemaCon.
Spider-Man, brand new day, baby. That's going to be a big one for them. And Rob, I'll tell you right now, I'm expecting a good 10 minutes of it. I don't think they're going to give us a full screening of it. Although
I wouldn't give any of you bastards a full screening of that. You'd be lucky if you got 5 minutes. You'd be lucky if you got an extended trailer.
Wouldn't count that out completely off the books. But I think Tom Holland's going to walk out there. Tom Holland and Zendaya always go to these things. So I think Tom Holland's going to walk out on stage.
And they'll both be there.
And do you think that anyone is going to give a shit? This is what I hate about CinemaCon too, is that it's a circle jerk fest, man. Like I why are you there? Why? Who cares?
Oh yeah,
it's like E3, you know? People stop doing E3, stop going to E3 because they're like, we can do our own thing. Why do we need all of this crap? Why do they need to go to CinemaCon? Why can't you just do your own online thing? You know how like the Nintendo Direct deal where they come through and like, hello, here's our stuff, here's the new thing, check it out, and then they just show some bull crap. What? And we're doing what? To show to journalists that go off to who cares?
Both be there. So we're gonna have Tom Holland walking on stage, and Zendaya's gonna walk out on stage. They're gonna be there for several movies. I think we're gonna have Destin's gonna come. Destin was there last year. The director with him, he was there last year to talk a little bit about it in advance. He's going to be coming out to talk about it too. So I'm expecting like a good 10-minute scene of it, maybe more. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, what are you thinking we're going to get? Number one, do you think they're going to give us something on Spider-Man Brand New Day? I think it's an automatic. And if so, what do you think we're going to get?
Listen to that entitlement. You know what I'm saying? Just like, what about my stuff? These studios owe me a little something. And I'm here to collect.
Well, I think that one will get the cast.
God, this man looks like a walrus. I love him.
Probably, Destin will come out and speak, and probably somebody, I don't know if Amy Pascal will come out or somebody's going to come out and introduce it. And I do think they're going to show us
Amy Pascal.
Something more than just a clip or a trailer. I would imagine they'll show us an extended sequence. A lot of times, sometimes they'll show us the whole first 10 minutes of the movie or something along those lines.
Sometimes we've even had studios go, we're going to show you the first 30 minutes of it. And I would.
Yep. Why would you want that? So you can come back and be like, hey, everybody, I saw 30 minutes of the movie out of context and it's really, really good. Who cares? Who cares? If the shit was good, you could show me a 30, 45 second, maybe a minute and a half teaser trailer, and you'd be good. Why do you need to invite just nobody journalists to come and watch your trailers and then go like, that's real good. Me like trailer. You might like trailer too. Go to the movie that you've seen 15 times before.
Be shocked if they came out and said, here's the first act of Spider-Man Brand New Day. I mean, many studios have done that. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that one here.
I mean, this is a huge movie. It's following up an almost $2 billion grossing franchise entry in the last Spider-Man film. I think that there's a lot of excitement around this movie, and they're going to make a big deal about it. And, Sony, it's not like Sony has like 10 movies coming out for the rest of the year. So this is obviously their big gun for 2026. So I would imagine it's going to be quite a fun presentation.
You guys sound like you're having a fucking blast.
All right, well, let's look at some of the other films that I'm expecting we're going to see them.
Are you growling at something, dog? What are you?
Talk about with Spider-Man along at the Sony thing. So, one of the big ones they've got coming, I think Jumanji. I think that's definitely one they're going to talk about, or I should say Jumanji 3 at this point. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson loved.
Have you ever heard of him?
CinemaCon. He goes to it every chance he gets. And so I fully expect to see Kevin Hart, Jack Black.
Why do we have to constantly predict what's going to happen? This is what happens when you live in the Kalshi era. Oh, that's the betting thing, ain't it? I think that's what that is. Yeah, man. It's called to fill time. They do it to fill time. I didn't realize it was going to be quite this bullshitty. I thought we were going to talk about the things that actually went on, but that is again part of the wheel spin of the TikTok Trash Tuesday. Everybody.
Dwayne Johnson come out on stage. I think they're going to give us. Now they started shooting the movie a while ago, so they'll probably have some stuff to show us.
Please entertain me, Hollywood, so I may go back to the masses and tell them I saw a couple of minutes of it and I thought it was pretty good. Good grief. All right. What's next?
I'm on a mission to watch movies from the 80s, the 90s, and the early 2000s, and I decided to turn it into a TikTok series. And
heck yeah, that's what I'm talking about, is go after movies that you haven't seen before, man. I think a lot of people would do quite well to go, hey, I need to focus on X, and then start going after those movies. And if doing something like a TikTok video is the thing that will keep you accountable to that, that would be an awesome thing. And I think more people should do stuff like that. I mean, listen, I've had a podcast for a decade. I have a movie to watch every single week. Keeps me on track, man.
Take you all along with me, and I'm calling it Older Movie Reviews. Today we have another recommendation from you guys in the comments, and that is
The Burbs. The Burbs is actually coming out on 4K and not too awful long. If it's not out right now, it may have just come out if it's not out shortly hereafter.
The 1989 comedy horror starring Tom Hanks and Carrie Fisher called The Burbs. It's really fun to say the Burbs, the Burbs, the Burbs. The Burbs follows Ray Peterson, who is on vacation, but instead of going to the lake,
that's my one word Tom Hanks impression,
like his lovely wife suggests, he has decided to stay home and play detective with his fellow neighbors. A new neighbor has entered the cul-de-sac, and the other neighbors just aren't quite sure about them. They don't act like everybody else. They only come out at night, and they're like, what?
They only come out at night, leaning on the time.
What kind of nefarious situations going on over there?
Don't be nefarious.
I really need to know, what's wrong with Ray. Is Ray just mad because he lives in suburbia? He is one angry man. I am by no means a film critic. With my background in sociology and criminology,
But Bruce Dern is a psychopath. I tell you that right now.
This is how I review a movie. I'm going to look at the acting. I'm going to look at the genre. I'm going to look at the cinematography, and I'm going to look at the social commentary and the messaging for every single review. And if
she blinked at you like it. If you don't like it, you can die.
I feel like there needs to be a trigger warning, then there will be. First up, the acting. The acting was phenomenal. It's Tom Hanks. Carrie Fisher. Carrie Fisher was like a perfect calmness to Tom Hanks's chaos. I thought they played perfectly off each other. I also thought the deadpan of the son was really funny. Tom Hanks is gossiping, and then the son gossips, and then Tom Hanks yells at him for gossiping, and his face is just like, you were just doing it. Rick Duchovny was very annoying, so he played his part perfectly. Bruce Dern, you had Corey Feldman as the funny teenager. I mean, the casting was pretty on point for this one. I enjoyed the cinematography of this movie. I am learning that these older movies, I love the lighting. I love that there's no overhead lighting or big lighting that's washing everything out or getting rid of the color and editing.
They used to paint with film back in the day. You know what I'm saying? We used to paint with light.
Editing. This movie did not do that. I loved it. The shadows were awesome. I love that it was dark in some scenes to play up the mood, but you could still see what was going on. I loved the practical effects in this movie. I know that they cost more money. I know that people can get hurt doing them. I know, but I love the way that they look on screen. I loved the whole thing with the bees. Was that a real bee? I think that was a real bee. They
Not the bees, not the bees, no matter goddamn honey.
had a very campy dream sequence that I love. I noticed a lot of zooming in this movie. There was a lot of like zooming out and in from the wide shots instead of a straight cut, which I really enjoyed. I also like how they kind of made fun of it. They zoom in and out like really fast, playing that up. There was another scene where Carrie Fisher is walking and it's like a wide shot and then it zooms in on her hand as she goes to reach for the door. I thought that was beautiful. It plays up the mood, it plays up the anticipation. This is a comedy horror,
Recurring themes, if you will.
but it's very light on the horror, heavy on the comedy. I think the horror is more the material and the anticipation because there aren't really any jump scares. There's nothing too scary. There's like a few fake bones, nothing to worry about too much. I love when there's all different kinds of comedy. I love the more like silly, over the top comedy, but then when there's also like a more dry, subtle comedy. For me, it was the trash being left in the cul-de-sac and just having like random scenes and the trash still being there throughout the whole movie. Like nobody picked up the trash. The messaging in the commentary was obviously heavy about suburbia, being bored out in suburbia and having neighbors, being judged. If you've ever lived in like an HOA or like cul-de-sac like that and you have been judged by your neighbors, you have gossiping and whispering in the neighborhood, then you know exactly what they were trying to say. The commentary on the neighbors being different, they only come out at night, they don't do things like everyone else. So are they nefarious? Are they bad people? The mystery of it all definitely kept me engaged and interested, trying to see like, are they? Are they not? And then I don't want to give away the ending, but they kind of like flip it on its head. And normally that would bother me, but I think they did it in a pretty funny way where they get away with it. I thought this movie was really funny. I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. I liked the beginning a lot more than the end. I think it kind of dragged a little bit there, but then it did pick up right at the end. It does feel like one of those movies that you can watch again and find something like different or funny in the background. There were pieces that were slightly predictable, but then the end was a surprise. So it was like touch and go there. And I'm not like a film critic. And when I watch movies, if the characters are like pissing me off too much, it bothers me. And art was getting a little annoying there at the end. Okay. For me. I think the acting and the cinematography was really good. For genre, I definitely think they could have played up the horror a little bit, a little more anticipation, a little more jump scare. But again, it's mostly a comedy, so like don't go into this thinking that it's gonna be scary at all. I think if you've ever lived with an HOA in suburbia, anything like that, that you will also find it funny and you should give it a shot. If you want to watch The Burbs, I watched it on AMC.
I feel like I've watched it right now because of how fucking long this thing is. Holy moly. Like I said, I slap them all together. We don't really look at all the whole wow.
Which
You know?
unfortunately is not free. If you're interested in my other reviews, you can find them at hashtag older movie reviews. And as always, have a great day.
I'm sorry. I wish I could have. It was like there was a lot of I didn't want to just be mean throughout everything. And enough of that is me. So all right. Fair enough. Give me a second here. I am going to get a beverage and we'll continue on this whatever the hell this is. All right. All right, we're back.
led me to drinking, and it is what it is.
You remember when movies used to have multiple posters back in the day?
Now, I will say this, Christian, I wanted to save this and talk about it here and say, hey, hold on now. We do have multiple posters for multiple movies, or for all movies these days. They're just not as cool as they used to be.
Creeps has to be my favorite instance of this. There's the couple in front of the sorority house with the guns. There's this balloon with the zombie guy looking through a window. And then there's a zombie hand busting through a glass trying to open the door. Man, all three of those are home runs, and it makes the movies feel a little bit more special. I wish studios would do this more often, especially when it's a movie like Evil Dead Rise with just a terrible poster. I think they'd want to be a little bit more creative.
Hold on. Sorry, I'm going to use that for an example. All right, give me 1 second here. We're going to share this screen. Here's these Evil Dead posters, and you tell me that these aren't. And there's a lot of stuff going on here. Maybe not, Holy shit, what's happening? I don't need all this. I don't need like an eBay thing, but that's one. Holy jeez. Here's one. So this is the one that he was talking about. This is obviously in another language, but that's the generic one. But that's the regular one. They mostly use that. I'm not going to lie. But there's other ones out there. They issue other posters. You just gotta go and look for them. You just gotta go and look for them. You know how it is.
I had done a movie with Stacy Scher, who, as far as I'm concerned, back then she was one of the best movie producers.
All right, lock in, everybody. I'm not going to lie to you. This is a long video here, but we are going over a lot of the career of one Vincent D'Onofrio. And, he's been a Hollywood staple for a very, very long time. And I don't think a lot of us always kind of think about that. But it's like, yeah, man, he has been here forever and a day. His role was so good in Men in Black that I think a lot of people were just like, that was Vincent D'Onofrio? Get out of here. I didn't remember that.
Ran Danny DeVito's company for a while, and then she started making movies with Tarantino. But anyway, I had done Feeling Minnesota with her as a producer with Keanu, and I played brothers in that with Cameron Diaz. And years later, I got a call from her saying, hey, it's, Stacy, she said, I've been talking to Barry Sonnenfeld. He's interested in you for a part, but he's asked me to ask you that if I'm going to give you the script, that I have to promise, and this is, Barry and I have talked about it since.
I'm just looking at this right now, but like, based upon this look, don't you want to see him play a badass Santa Claus? Vincent D'Onofrio plays, I don't know what he's doing, but he's beating somebody up. Maybe he's got machine guns. I don't know. I haven't written it, but I'm looking at it and I'm just like, this looks like badass Santa Claus to me.
I would have to promise that I would never speak to him about acting or the character or anything that had to do with my performance, that I would just say yes, and then I would just do it. I felt I'd never heard about that before. I'd never had a
That is a wild ass request of somebody to just be like, yeah, just say yes to it and just do it. Don't ask anything about it. Just kind of be like, yeah.
Director asked me that before, but I had just seen Get Shorty, and it was such a great movie. And I knew about Barry already because he was the cinematographer for Raimi and the Coen brothers early on. And when I started reading, this alien comes down and takes the body of a guy and then wears the skin for the whole thing. And I couldn't talk to the director about it. It was
exactly. It's like, okay, there's this guy who drinks sugar water and he's losing his entire face going on, right? And you can't ask about it. Just say yes
just say, oh, okay, yeah, that sounds like a great plan.
I had no idea. And the lines were kind of wonky and weird and sort of like punchlines, kind of. I had to figure it out. So I went and rented a bunch of videos on insects, documentaries on insects and blah, blah, blah. And I remember sitting on my couch with my roommate at the time, and I was doing a movie in LA at the time. I'm watching this shot of this beetle crossing this porch, moves in on this beetle and then tracks with the beetle. And I was just like, enough. I just got up and turned the TV off. I was like, I have no idea what to do. And so I was very frustrated, and I left the house and I walked down.
Why would you think that would be what you would need to do? That's an actory thing if I've ever heard it. I started watching beetle videos and I'm just like, I'm not getting it. Yeah, I would imagine that you might not.
Laurel Canyon to Sunset Boulevard. And I'm walking on the street, and I get
the funniest looks from everyone we meet, and I realized, did I audition to be on the Monkees?
The truth, I passed by a orthopedic store, if you've ever been in one, but they're always empty, but there's always somebody with a white lab coat in there. And in the window, there were these knee braces that like basketball players wear when they're injured. I didn't really question it. I just really not knowing what, it was all kind of full in my head, but I was attracted to these braces. In some way, I thought they could help.
This is so, like, I like it and I hate it at the exact same time. This actory bullshit of just like, it spoke to me. I want to believe it's true. I want to believe, but I don't.
Defining, it was just about trying to research and see if this was going to be something. I went in and I explained to the guy, and he got very excited. I explained what I was doing, playing.
Ooh, you want some cripple braces? Okay, we hook you up with that.
An alien and another line. He thought it was amazing. He ran in the room, and when he opened the door to his back room, it was like a storage room, and he was painting his walls in there. So there was like paint sticks and paint and rollers, and he went in there and he gathered up some duct tape and some paint sticks, and then brought these two braces out. And I kind of stood and bent my knees a little bit, and we put these on, and he duct taped the paint sticks to the braces, and then we did my feet like that. So basically, I couldn't move my knees in any direction. I couldn't move my ankles in any direction. I just tried to walk.
This motherfucker's out here Daniel Day-Lewising his Men in Black performance.
And I was like, yes, like this could work. Like,
or Men in Black.
It all kind of came to me that like it's this 20-foot alien packed into this body. It would be tough for him to move, and that will frustrate him. So the whole character, really, the physicality of the character came from me going into this orthopedic store. I bought them. He charged me about $500 for both of them. And, I couldn't really afford it at the time, but I did it. And
I'm pretty good.
He gave me the paint sticks and the duct tape. I guess as a bonus or something. I went home and I went to my friend. Hey, look, I'm going to try this thing. So he helped me do it. And we did it to my arms and my wrists and then I just tried to walk around, and I thought this is really working. So I spent like a week doing the dishes in the house and like cleaning the house, making my bed with this thing on. And
again, he's in the movie for maybe 15 minutes. He ends up being the kind of, the big main villain here and everything. But he's in it for like again, I haven't timed it in a minute, but like 15, 20 minutes tops. No way he's in that movie for more than 20 minutes. I mean, it's a good performance, and one that we don't even see him in that performance. So that in and of itself is quite amazing. But the amount of time he's taking for this short little role is something else.
Figured out the whole physicality in a week about how this
that is not Egger
guy could move and why, and it gave me all these new intentions for the character. And then I needed to find his voice. I had like one of the first big screen televisions, and I collect laser discs.
Yeah, we knew we liked this guy for some reason. There you go.
Back then I had, over 1,000 of them, and we were watching Chinatown, and in Chinatown is the director John Huston plays a part, and he plays Faye Dunaway's father in it. He has a voice that he accentuates the last vowel and
every time
things. So it would be like pond or how are you? It's good to see you. Like
there's a lot of those. So yeah.
That, Mr. How are you?
Got a few teeth left in my head and
Mr. Geddes.
A few friends in town.
And there was this one.
Everything sounds like it's boiling over.
Line about pond scum in the script. So I just said pond scum. And I'm like, oh shit, this could work.
That's as long as this is, that was worth it right there to know that what he's doing in there is Houston. That's great. That's awesome.
Like that could work, but I thought it was too slow for comedy. So I remembered George C. Scott's performance in Dr. Strangelove, where he played a general, and he kind of talked like this all the time. And he would,
I'm not going to say we're not going to get our hair mussed.
Like rush around and do like a somersault and stand back straight and talk like that.
It's jet exhaust frying chickens in the barnyard.
Maybe the best George C. Scott performance, and that's fucking saying something too, man, because George C. Scott was amazing, and he is just absolutely destroying in this comedy. It's so good. He's amazingly good in that movie. It's like him and Peter Sellers are just like, woo, good stuff.
So I combined those two voices together and came up with the voice. Now, this is the point later. After working with Rick and Rick did the makeup. I was doing the voice and walking around Rick's studio. And Rick Baker, who won many Academy Awards for his makeup. While he was fixing my face and developing the makeup, I was developing the character with the voice and the movement and everything. And then skip a month later, I'm doing the first scene, which took place in a barn. Now, remember, Barry has no idea what I'm going to do because I wasn't allowed to discuss it with him.
Yeah, which seems a little bit crazy.
I promised I wouldn't. And I'm standing outside. It's a scene where I have to cross this barn, go into a barn, kill the Orkin man. So I start this monologue and I walk in and I get halfway through and Barry calls cut. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's like typical. It could be something technical or whatever. But then I saw the first AD go over to him, and the first AD turned with this microphone and said, Barry would like to clear the set. So, I started to walk off, and then I heard,
not you. Everybody who has got a job, take a step forward. Not you, D'Onofrio.
Not you, Vincent. Okay. I could be getting fired. We'll see. And Barry said to me, can you do that again? So cut at the same place again. And he goes to me, Barry kind of talks like this. And he goes,
did I not just do a great impression based upon what I just did and what he's doing now? Now, granted, I did listen to Barry Sonnenfeld's audiobook, but,
Are you going to do that the whole time? That's what he said.
Yeah.
And I said to him, yeah, it's pretty much my plan. Like, I don't have another. I said, I don't have a plan B. Like, this really is it. And like, meanwhile, all the blood is rushing out of my head. Like, I think I'm done. Like, I think it's my last hurrah with. And he said, my God, this is horrible. It's horrible. And I'm about to say, okay, where do you want me to go? Like, and he said, it's really just, and he just kept shaking his head. And he said, but let's continue and see what happens. He goes, and I'm like, okay.
This is terrible. This is awful. It's not what I want, but let's keep going and see what happens.
We never spoke about it again. And we just kept on shooting, and I just kept it the way that I brought it in, full out. And I didn't get fired. And
that means he was scared of you. Does that not translate? Like he was scared of you, man.
Years later, Barry and I had a situation where we were able to talk about it together and just talked about the whole thing, and it was just fantastic. You know, the trust that he put in me. A lot of directors have done this for me, but that was a pretty big trust he put in me to pull that character off for him. And yeah, I can never thank him enough for that.
That's pretty cool. I did not know quite all of that. And again, like I said, I've listened to Barry Sonnenfeld's book, and I don't remember all of that kind of content and everything. So that's pretty awesome. What's next?
This had some of the coolest use of audio that I've ever seen in a movie. So the other night I watched The Conversation. This is from
very good, very good, very good. Why don't you check out our review of The Conversation right here on HMP a couple months back. We talked about The Conversation. Good stuff.
1974, and it stars Gene Hackman. And in this movie, he plays someone who's hired to do surveillance on various targets. So with his team and some clever use of microphones, he's able to do some spying of sorts so that the people that hire him can get some intel. This movie had such a specific vibe to it. It's this really perfect blend of quiet and intense. You have these moments where you're just living with Gene Hackman and his team as they're doing surveillance. And a lot of times they just have to be quiet and wait for something to happen. But because you don't quite know what's going on or exactly what might be revealed in the audio that they get, I found myself just sitting there on the edge of my seat just waiting to see how the story unfolded. And the technical aspect of this was so fascinating to me. In this movie, he takes an approach of putting microphones in different parts of the area that they're in. And so then later on, when they're reviewing the audio, you're sort of rewatching the video footage you had seen earlier from the movie. But now you have Gene Hackman toggling with the audio. He's bringing up certain microphones, and he's bringing up the mic,
which they later on do admit is not possible. Certainly wasn't possible at that time. Just kind of a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and all of a sudden things clear up. It's just like that was a little bit of tomfoolery.
Microphone from this corner and blending it with.
But they made it sound really cool. They made it believable, and that just really goes to show the editing and sound design of Walter Murch and how important that was for this movie.
The microphone from the other corner, and the video just kind of keeps replaying and replaying, and it's filling in these gaps of this audio that you.
And it really is like like from an editor, somebody who kind of grew up and did a whole bunch of video editing and stuff like that. It speaks to the editor mentality, going back, checking something, check back. So good.
Haven't heard before until these secrets start to be revealed. And I just thought it was such a clever way to build the tension throughout. Because with each moment, you're getting a little bit more and then a little bit more until a chunk of the story is revealed. And that's really how a lot of the movie played out, which also just led to some really great twists. Gene Hackman is his normal great self. I sometimes struggle with him because he's so good at playing a curmudgeon. So it's very hard for me to sometimes separate that from the actor. And sometimes I'm watching.
Yeah. I mean, I think he is one of those guys who, did play kind of a grumpy son of a bitch so often that I think many of us probably assume that he was just a grumpy son of a bitch in real life. And perhaps that he was. I don't know. But it is a vibe that you got for sure.
Him, I just think this guy's miserable. I do not want to be hanging around him. But I think this movie really just hammered it home for me.
What a great fucking ending too. Now that I'm just like looking at him playing that saxophone right there. The ending is so good.
That it just highlights how good he is. And it's not even that he's a really hateable character in this movie at all. But there's this quiet anger to him that is a little jarring at times. But it was really cool to see his
like he's somebody today that you would probably say would be on the spectrum.
Character's development in parallel alongside with the actual story they were investigating. Because eventually he starts to become a deeper part of the story.
He just gets then the guy who gets surveillance always feels like he's being surveilled. This and if there's anybody that would know, it would be him.
And outside the surveillance that he's doing. And ultimately what I took away from this was that sometimes the thing you love the most, or maybe is the thing that you're best at, can also be the thing that traps you. And so how do you escape that? I really enjoyed this movie. It really felt like one to live in a little bit, one that I could just have on in the background, or one that I could watch over and over and feel relatively comforted by. There's just this underlying peaceful feeling that I can't quite put my finger on, but it definitely felt present. Let me know if you've seen this movie and what you think in the comments. Follow along for more movie reviews like this, and take care.
I have seen it. It is fantastic. I've seen it many times. I own it on 4K Blu-ray from Lionsgate, and oh my God, was it expensive. I made a whole YouTube video about it. You can go check out that video. Have I made enough money from that YouTube video to pay for that? Fuck to the no, I haven't. All right. What's next?
I've got my favorite director, David Fincher, directing it, and I like the idea of David Fincher. I like the idea of any great director, big director, adapting my work.
So, as you may or may not know, Quentin Tarantino has written a sequel of sorts to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, just focusing on the Cliff Booth character. I think it's called The Adventures of Cliff Booth or some such nonsense. Tarantino has written this movie, and it is directed by David Fincher, which I'm excited about. David Fincher is one of my favorite working directors today. Huge Fincher fan. Huge Tarantino fan. So the combination of these two does have me very excited. It's $200 million is the budget for this thing. What the fuck are they doing for $200 million?
All right, because I've been the person adapting most of it, so I'm interested to see what he ends up doing with it. Because I direct my own stuff, I don't think I've gotten the respect as a writer that I am entirely due, because most people just think, well, he's writing stuff for himself to do. All right, and so the idea that, I mean, I think David.
He's not wrong in this kind of like, quick assessment here and everything that I'm hearing, to where people might be a little bit more appreciative of his writing when it's coming from characters that are not being directed by him. I think that's an interesting statement. And seeing the Tarantino lens through the lens of David Fincher is going to be interesting.
Fincher is the best director. I think me and David Fincher are the two best directors.
I kind of agree with that.
All right, so the idea that David Fincher actually wants to adapt my work, to me, shows a level of seriousness towards my work that I think needs to be taken into account.
I agree wholeheartedly with that statement there. I think they're probably two of the best directors out there right now, some of the most consistent directors out there. And I'm interested to see what they kind of do with each other's work here and stuff like that. I think that's going to be a very cool thing. It's kind of like that Rancid No Effects Split album where each of them do like 6 songs of the other band. So let's just see how each of them will do the other guy's stuff. It's going to be fun. By the way, I thought for sure, I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch this trailer because, it debuted, I suppose, on the Super Bowl or something like that. And I was like, I'll watch this trailer. I go to watch it online. I got a great internet connection, and it looked like ass. And I'm like, well, let me see if it's on the highest. Like, it looked terrible. The quality of the trailer was just awful, just from just a resolution standpoint. And I was like, I'm not watching this.
This comment reminded me of all the videos that are like people who have AMC subs like justifying it to other people. If you are seeing the 4 movies a week, or if you are even seeing 4 movies in the month, you are making your money back.
Yeah, I mean, all of these things are really good if you are a movie fan, be it AMC's A-List or Regal's Unlimited or Alamo Drafthouse, whatever the fuck they call that. I don't have one around here, so I don't really know. Or any of these other ones. Yeah, it's a good plan, and one I feel like could and should work more if indeed you got like concession prices and stuff down, because I think a lot of us, when we go to the movies, there's something deep down in our brain that just goes like, we'll get a little snacky poo, a little something to munch on while the film's going on. And if there's like, it doesn't matter, like you're spending $20 to go to the movies, 4 times a month or whatever. But if you're also, spending we'll call it minimum $10 on concessions and everything each time, you're giving them an ass load of money. And so it's like, what's the even point of it all? Bring down concession costs. I keep saying it. It's like, I know it's your highest ticket item. It's what you get the most margin on, and it quote unquote helps keeps the doors open and everything. But eventually you have to realize that you're a volume business as a movie theater.
With AMC stubs, and I die on the hill. So if you are an avid movie watcher who likes going to the movie theater, it is worth it. I don't know film archives if you like going to the movie theater, but it is worth it if you do. It's $25. And then you can see 4 movies a week, which to me is like unlimited movies. Sometimes I wish I could see more.
Well, that's where Regal Unlimited comes in, because you do get to see those unlimited things. Listen, both have their pluses and minuses, their pros and cons of each other and stuff like that. But it's a wash.
But I digress.
Because Regal Unlimited, I mean, like, you know, technically, as long as the films aren't overlapping, you can watch as many movies as you want in one day, you know?
Alamo Drafthouse has decided to go through with their mobile ordering thing, even though literally everybody said that it was a bad idea, and there actually hasn't been as many problems as we thought there was going to be. There's been more. They were constantly...
There's been more. That's a great... Hey, it wasn't even all that bad, except for it was worse.
Talking up this dark screen service option where the app that you would use on your phone to order food and drink is so dark that it's not going to be that distracting. It's literally a website on dark mode. That's
Don't worry, we've got it all figured out. Throw it in dark mode.
all it is. That means when you pull out your phone, you still have to deal with your lock screen being bright, and you still have to make sure that it's bright enough to scan that QR code in the first place, which in my experience, I've been to 2 movies, it's been kind of difficult to scan that QR code. Obviously, this removes a lot of the nice human element that going to the Alamo Drafthouse used to have.
Now, I got a quick question here, though, just out of curiosity. Can you order your stuff ahead of time? Like before everything starts? I know you can do it during the trailers and all that kind of jazz and everything. You can even do it beforehand. I know that's one big thing is that, you know, you show up early to make sure all of your stuff goes in. But I don't know, man.
Instead, you get this one awkward conversation with the server before the movie starts where they basically tell you, hey, what's up? Scan the QR code and let me know if you have any questions. And I feel so bad for the staff because every day they probably have to go have the same uncomfortable interaction with...
Oh, yeah, we don't do that anymore. This is awful now. Do this. Yeah, we don't like it either, because I promise you. And that's something that we had. We didn't have ordering via like a QR code or anything, but that's where our menus ended up going to a QR code. And let me tell you, it sucked. It sucked. And that's just for people to see what the menu is. I was just like, can we not just hand someone a friggin' menu, dude?
Everybody that comes in, and everybody agrees that it's a stupid system, so they kind of just have to be like, yeah, I know. There are a lot of options built into the QR code interface that allow for you to request things like refills and napkins and such without having to spend too much time on your phone.
But you got to get it out, and that's stupid. Instead of being able to push a button that's right in front of you, and then somebody coming in sneaky ninja going, yes. There's your drink. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you. That's it.
There's also an option for random stuff where you would have to type it in, and then that gets sent to the server.
Oh, randomly type it in. That's going to be fantastic.
But if you are having technical difficulties and you're unable to use your phone to alert somebody, you basically have to miss part of your movie to find someone. Or you have to flag somebody down in the middle of the theater, which causes even more of a distraction, and you have to talk to them. If you want to pay with cash or a gift card, there's no way to do that on the QR code. You have to order outside the theater with somebody else.
Oh, and they won't do it either. And then they're going to wait to the end and they're going to be like, but I want to pay with this one. Well, you got to do it this way. Then you're at loggerheads with everybody. You can't clean your theater on time. Nightmare mode. Nightmare mode. It's bad enough to try to get people to pay their checks, drop and pay their checks anyhow.
And if you are doing that, you have to close out right away with them, so getting those refills becomes even more complicated. I've also noticed, and other people have told me, that the service has been slower, and I think that that's because everyone is able to order at the same time on their phone rather than a server going one by one, and so that causes the orders to bottleneck and get sent to the kitchen all at once, and it overwhelms them. They still have an ad that tells you not to use your phone before the movie, but this time it says keep your phone dark, silent, and out of sight if you're not ordering, and it says
Oh, that's bad.
If you have a problem with a disruptive guest, use the QR code to report it. And then
now that isn't the worst.
And at the end, it says, P.S. We understand and appreciate the irony of reporting phone usage
on your phone.
on your phone. So they're trying to look self-aware.
That said, it's like I never want to get up out of the movie theater, but I mean, if you had a button in front of you, you could still push the button and be like, these people over here are being jerks
about it, and it's just sad. And you could make the excuse of, oh, they're just working out the kinks, it's brand new. But literally all of these problems could have been solved by keeping the pen and paper. They didn't exist before when that was a thing. So they're fixing something that isn't broken just to cut down employees.
We didn't even really use pen and paper for the most part. Like if somebody handed you a pen and paper or handed you a note with the stuff on it, which we did have, but if they did that, it was rare.
These hours, and they're actively making it a worse experience for everybody else. And what's even sadder is that the theaters aren't renovated to this change. They just slapped a sticker on each table with a QR code on it. So when you go, you still see the old slot where the
remnants of the things that you could have had but cannot any longer. So sad.
Menu and the paper and the pen used to be, and you just remember what once was.
Womp 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 womp. Sad, man.
Can I ask you about the bullseye?
Yes.
I know it.
Now, this is an interesting thing. I never knew this fact, but check this out.
Originally, it was paint, right? You just
originally it was cream, like St. Rhodes's Les Paul. You know what I mean? His Randy's cream Les Paul. So that's what it was. So it's like bad enough. I got the blonde hair. Obviously, me and all my buddies, Dime and all of us were Rhodes disciples. So I'm in the band now. I'm like, well, I got to have something I can't have the cream Les Paul or a polka dot V. That's Randy's thing.
Yeah, it's too much. You can't copy somebody else's famous guitar. That's a little bit gauche.
So I wanted to do the Vertigo, like Alfred Hitchcock, the Vertigo.
So I want to show you that, obviously. What he's talking about here, the Vertigo circle. Let's see, I got too many tabs and stuff open here. But yes, sir, the old Vertigo circle. This is what Zakk Wylde wanted on his guitar back in the day. This is what he was aiming for. Is this what he got?
Movie poster. So I brought that to Max. So Max would make these amazing guitars, amazing guitar builder and painted and stuff like that. But I remember I had to go do the photo shoot that day. I opened it up and it's got the bullseye. I was like, Max, I wanted the Vertigo, not the bullseye. He goes, sorry about that, pal. But yeah, so that was about it. So I had to do the photo shoot and the rest is history.
Did you know, like in that moment, how iconic that guitar would be?
No, I had no idea. I was just like, it's wrong, and it
was a screw up.
I want to do the Vertigo.
That looks so nothing like Vertigo whatsoever. It's just circles and it's like, I guess that's it. Never had him redo it or anything. It's just like, I guess that's the one that we're doing now. But to be fair, it did become quite iconic for him. But I wonder what it would have had it had that little kind of Saul Bass-esque design to it.
Judging horror movies based off the cover art.
Ooh, I think that's what we all did back in the day, especially if you were a video store baby. Growing up in the 80s and 90s and stuff like that, if you went and saw a lot of movies, you just judged them based upon that cover, especially horror films.
Based off this artwork?
Looks badass. Doesn't that look awesome? Pool Party Massacre, and I've seen Pool Party Massacre. It's not great, but is it as good as that cover? No.
Would you watch Pool Party Massacre? Let me know in the comments. Maybe you've already seen it, but if you love movies and physical media, don't forget to follow.
That's a nice, quick, really in and out too fast, but it's not too bad. I'm pretty sure I've seen that one in cover art badass.
This guy right here, Sean Astin from Lord of the Rings, has one of the messiest family backstories of anyone in Hollywood.
I obviously knew that he was, you can maybe not like the term or whatever, but it's true. He's a Nepo baby. Obviously, John Astin is his father. Debbie Reynolds is his mother. It comes from a very, very successful family.
And he is now the leader of SAG after, or whatever the fuck they're calling it now. I feel like they're just like, that's not inclusive. It's one of those deals going on. I started watching a little bit of this Jason's video just to see where we were going, and I did not know some of these things. I didn't watch the whole thing, but get ready for an adventure, kids, because woo!
So Sean's mother was a movie star named Patty Duke.
That's what I meant.
Who famously went through some stuff. So Sean Astin's father was this guy, actor John Astin, who played Gomez in the original Addams Family.
That I got right.
Or at least that's what he thought. When Sean was a teenager, his mother came to him and said, actually, your father is this guy, Desi Arnaz.
When you look at him, it kind of makes a little bit more sense. You know? Look at this guy. Okay, yeah.
Junior.
Oh!
That is the son of Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz. For you kids out there, that's two of the most famous people in the world at the time. But that's not the end of the story, because years after that, he gets a paternity test done, and it turns out it's not either of them. It turned out his biological father was a publisher and music promoter named Michael Tell, who she'd had a brief relationship with years earlier.
Man, old Patty Duke was a bit of a whore.
Sean's mother would then get remarried to a guy named Mike Pierce, who Sean was very close to, so these days he says that he has 4 dads, and that he keeps in touch with all of them, John, Desi, Mike, and Mike.
Didn't see all of that coming, my word. Can we get one interviewer who doesn't ask the stupid goddamn question, did you know how big blank would be, please? It'd be kind of nice. It's like, listen, I could tell you the person who would answer it correctly. And years ago, it would have been funny, but today it would be bad. Today it would be sad. Would be Taika Waititi. Him saying like, oh yeah, we knew it would be the biggest and best thing ever. We planned it from the get-go. That was the whole thing. Yeah. I trust me, I wanted it to be this good. That's what I say with the popcorn video, man. It's got almost 2 million hits, and I just be like, yeah, I knew this was going to be good. Now, I knew the other things I was doing was going to be good, but they didn't do shit. So, you know, what do I know?
Are you a fan of physical media and
yes,
you want to add movies to your collection?
Sometimes, if they're good ones.
But not spend an arm and a leg? Well,
yeah, usually. That seems to be the problem.
If you do, I'm going to let you know about something that's coming up. Starting April 14th on select...
That's today!
Universal and Warner Brothers 4Ks, Amazon once again is doing their 3 for 33 4K deal.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. That's a good one. Let me look at some of these real fast. Keep talking, guy.
I'm telling you what, you can get some great titles for not a lot of money. I'll have more on it later, and make sure you hit that follow button.
Yeah. All right, 4K. Well, the Fight Club is up for sale. We got that. That's a good one. All right, we're gonna have to investigate that later.
If you love movies,
I do.
Okay, then Europe. How many frames per second in your television broadcasts?
Ooh, this is always interesting to me. I come from the world of television. I know all about film and television frame rates and resolutions and all of this bullshit. I've been dealing with it since fucking 1997.
25. 25, okay, thank you. Australia?
Which is interesting. So 25 frames per second over there. So they are just one above the natural film recording of 24 frames per second. Not horrid.
How about you? 25 here too. Okay, 25, same as Europe, very nice. And North America? 30.
Here comes NTC giving you the 30.
30. Well, it's different, but it's a round number, so I guess that's apart from the first second of each minute. Huh? Yeah, that second only has 28 frames. Okay, so for that second, instead of it going 10028, 10029, 10100, it goes 10026, 10027, 10100? No.
Well, it's weird. And then you've got like stuff today that's like, hey, we're shooting 24 frames per second. Well, not really. You're shooting 23.9 something or 94.
Then how you drop the frames from the start of the second, not the end. So, for example, it'll go 759.28, 759.29, 80002. That's it. Right, and 859.28, 859.29, 90002. Now you've got it. Okay, and 959.28. Yes. 959.29. Yes. 100002. No. What's wrong with that? If the minute is divisible by 10, then that first second still has 30 frames. How do you do any kind of timecode calculation at all? That's the fun part. You don't.
No, you just kind of like back in the day, you didn't have to worry about none of that. You just hit that endpoint, hit that, and you didn't have to hit an out point. You just hit stop when you're done.
Are the streaming platforms actively cropping and pan and scanning classic movies?
You bet your sweet bippy they are. They don't give a shit. They don't care. They don't care, and the worst part is, neither do you. Neither do you.
On top of the news that Amazon Prime is going to be hiding the 4K versions of movies behind the ad-free paywall, there's actually another way in which you are not seeing the best version of many movies when you
just go watch it on Tubi.
Stream. And this one is a problem I'm noticing on Tubi. Many movies on Tubi...
Hey, listen, I just praise Tubi. Don't you damn Tubi. Tubi's free.
...are being presented with a cropped aspect ratio. Now, thankfully, this doesn't seem to be every movie in Tubi.
No, but that's like, I mean, so what he's talking about here, really that depends upon where they get things from, who they license it from, what those licensees then provide them with. I wouldn't blame Tubi on this one.
Tubi's catalog. But it's also not like it's a problem exclusive to obscure titles. I've noticed this with classics like Thelma and Louise, The Thomas Crown Affair, A Few Good Men, Real Genius, and many others. Now, I had never noticed this until I was watching Thelma and Louise for the very first time, and found myself not visually enjoying this classic movie as much as I expected. Until it reached the final credits, which are some of those credits that
oh, those are the worst, man. When you used to see that where all of a sudden, like, you can, sometimes you see it at the beginning, but when you see it at the end, boy, what a real pip that is, isn't it?
Show clips and images of the movie, except this time all of those clips and scenes were being replayed with those black bars above and below the image. And finally, I was seeing the composition of these moments in their intended depth and glory. Because in a visually well-photographed movie, when the framing is different, the effect is different. Because the negative space matters. The subject's relationship to characters in and out of focus matters. Even a character's sign.
They would even show you that, like, on some of the DVDs back in the day. I don't know how easy it would be for me to find it. But one of the early like Dollar Trilogy movies and stuff, you would look on the back and it would show you the difference between widescreen and full screen and what you would be missing and stuff like that. So they were, even back in the day, they were kind of at least trying to educate people sometimes.
Within a frame matters. These aren't just aesthetic choices, they are design choices that emphasize the storytelling. And I have found on Tubi that...
And the one that they show on the back of like the Once Upon a Time, or the Dollar Trilogy one, would be like either like 3 or 4 guys in frame, and it's just like, oh, when it's just this, it's these 2 dudes in the middle, but all of a sudden it turns into 4 people. So yeah, the framing matters.
These crop movies, it's still common to see the letterboxed image either at the beginning or end of the movie, because oftentimes that full, wide, gorgeous image is necessary.
Which is what they would very often do when you had like something that was very much designed for that widescreen fashion, and then you were going to the full screen for VHS and stuff like that.
It was much more prevalent back then.
Necessary to show the film's credit.
Because obviously they had just, little square TVs as opposed to widescreen ones.
But what I'm trying to understand is then why bother adjusting the rest of the movie to fit the TV screen? I want to know, is this the streaming service doing this? Is this the video file the distributor is giving them? And I am starting
More likely the file the distributor is giving them.
to lead towards the latter, because this isn't the case for like every movie. I watched Last of the Mohicans. It had the black bars and the full wide image.
You think Michael Mann would let that out in full screen? My friend.
Exactly as intended. So again, why? It's not an image data problem like with streaming 4K. Is this a matter of placating the boring people who don't want to see black bars when they watch?
Yes. Mm-hmm. No one wants to admit it, but that's what it's for. It's for the dum-dums. Yeah. It's for the dum-dums.
Watch a movie? Then by all means, make it a settings option that those losers can turn on if they want.
Boy, that was my thing when The Simpsons came out on Disney Plus there and all that kind of good stuff. They're just like, nah, it's the 16:9 versions. I don't want that shit. Those look terrible. I want the 4:3 version. I want the version that was broadcast. Give it to me that way. Same thing with Seinfeld. The only way that you can get the 4:3 version of Seinfeld, shockingly enough, is the 4K. I still have yet to get it because it's still a little bit too expensive for my taste. But that's the only way to get it and to watch it in 4:3. The proper way.
Because this cropping very clearly and actively detracts from famously beautiful movies. Because I know for a fact I would have enjoyed Thelma and Louise more on my first viewing if I shelled out for a personal copy instead of being introduced to it in this tightened, less dynamic.
Baby, you should have gotten yourself that beautiful 4K Criterion Collection Thelma and Louise. It's a beautiful. I own that.
Cropped crap. And now it's just another reason why it's better to hunt down physical media.
Amen to that. People in college hated widescreen, and I always had to talk them off the ledge. Boy, oh boy, can I understand that. Dude, let me tell you something. Back in the early days of DVD, right? Lord of the Rings was out on DVD. I remember that very specifically because that was what was up on the screen in Circuit City. That's right. That's how old this story is. So I'm in this Circuit City, and I like listening in on other conversations, especially when we're in the TV department, because your boy knows a little bit of something about a little bit of something. And so I'm listening to this Circuit City salesman pitch to this dude TVs and DVD players and stuff at that time, specifically very DVD players. And he's like, listen, there are two types of DVDs out there, full screen and widescreen. You want the full screen because that's going to take up the full screen and you're not going to have any of the black bars on top and the bottom. Brother, in that exact moment, I stopped. I was like, I couldn't. I had to intervene. I said, do not listen to anything that this man says. This is absolutely wrong. I pointed to the Lord of the Rings that was on the screen at the time. I'm like, you can't even tell what's going on here. There's too much. It's just ridiculous. I had to talk this person like you off a ledge being like, this is not what you want. I know that in your heart you feel like, oh, I'm seeing. You are not. You are not. Watch the scene where all the horses are traveling down the river there and everything after Liv Tyler and all that kind of stuff. Watch that in 4:3. It will make you want to jump out of a building, dude. Uh-oh.
Fortress Bucks.
Oh my goodness gracious. That cannon guy jumped in. People, oh wait. Oh, that was that. Was that what that was? No, am I insane? No, okay, all right. I thought I did. All right, here we go. Oh my. I never understood the hate for the black bars. It's just ignorant people. It's just ignorant people. All the DVDs are widescreen format. They better well should be, unless they're a 4:3 movie, in which case they better be a 4:3. We got Citizen Kane now in 235.
He had an uncanny ability to always position himself right next to Tommy Lee Jones.
Joe Pantoliano was shrewd AF filming The Fugitive. I never thought about this. I love The Fugitive. Fugitive just came out in 4K. I hear it's pretty good on 4K. But let's watch this and watch Joe Pantoliano kind of worm his way into The Fugitive.
And as a result, he kind of becomes the de facto second in command.
Yeah.
He was not written that way. He sort of willed it into existence, which I think is really, really funny.
Very impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. And another detail that I think is so funny about him in this movie. So at the very end of the movie, there is this climactic.
He is. He's always kind of just on the periphery out here, sneaking his head in, just going like, hey, 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 I'm Joe Pantoliano. Whoop, whoop. Getting that fake wig.
Manhunt chase. As it was written, Cosmo Renfro was supposed to die.
Cosmo.
But he played it off like he didn't. And he made a case afterward. He said, what if there's a sequel? And guess what? There was a sequel. And guess who?
It was called U.S. Marshals, wasn't it? Wasn't that U.S. Marshals with like Wesley Snipes? Am I wrong? Am I wrong in that remembrance? Is it Wesley?
Was also in that sequel. Our guy, Joe Pantoliano. And in that movie, he very much is the second in command.
I'm going to pit, since there happily are 8 Harry Potter films.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm going to do this.
Is it an all Harry Potter bracket?
Yeah, you ready for this?
Woo! Of all people, this is an interesting one. I was like, Daniel Radcliffe ranking the Harry Potter films? Very interesting. Now, I'm not going to do it because I think we'll be here for a week and a half if we end up doing all of that jazz. But I wonder where he's going to go. My dad took me to see U.S. Marshals in theater before I even watched The Fugitive. Really? That's hilarious. The very first day they put out widescreen VHS director's cuts for The Abyss and Aliens, I was there. I bought them and I couldn't wait for more widescreen VHS releases. I wish I would have had some stuff like that, man.
Okay,
Dan
Radcliffe ranks.
And this is my performance or the film?
You can do how.
Okay, yeah, and I'm going to say this, and I thought this exact same thing too. Prisoner of Azkaban is the best Harry Potter film. We rewatched all the Harry Potter. Did we rewatch them all? Was that all for the? Did we do that during the pandemic? I don't remember when I watched them all last time. Azkaban, good. I feel like we look back at that a little bit more than it actually is. I still think it's really good. But like it was like the Empire Strikes Back of Harry Potter at the time, you know. But I feel like it's the easy one to go like, oh, that's the number one because that's the time when it switched from like, oh, it's a Harry Potter children's film to like, oh my god, it's a Harry Potter's children's film.
However you want. How do you want to
let's do the films.
Do the film. Okay. Sorcerer's Stone versus Chamber of Secrets.
I would take Chamber of Secrets. Those two because I love the basilisk.
Azkaban or Goblet of Fire.
That's actually tough. I know everyone wants
Azkaban.
I know that's how everyone else feels. But I love the stuff I got to do on the 4th movie was awesome. Like I got to, I would like. So I'll say Goblet of Fire.
Order of Phoenix or Half-Blood Prince.
Order of Phoenix, far and away. Half-Blood Prince is probably the bottom of the bracket for me. And that's my own stuff. That's not the film. I don't know what the system I'm using is here. I'm kind of going back and forth.
Deathly Hallows Part 1 versus Part 2.
I think it's like Avengers Endgame. I think I'm gonna go Part 1. I think I'm gonna go the first one.
Part 2. Part 2 is my favorite of all of them.
Okay, so we'll.
Yeah, but with Part 2, you've also got the high school theater ending and everything, where everybody's just wearing the most god awful old people outfits. Ron's got like a little pillow in his stomach and shit like that. It's like it's really not good.
We'll see. You're ruining it.
Oh, sorry.
Chamber of Secrets versus Goblet of Fire now.
Goblet of Fire.
Order of Phoenix versus Hallows Part 2.
Hallows Part 2.
Yeah, proper brackets and everything.
Now, Goblet of Fire, Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Deathly Hallows Part 2. Wow. I'm fascinated. I wouldn't have said, if we, interesting. I don't think I knew that Goblet of Fire would have been my second favorite film, although it would have survived if the bracket were different. It would have gone a different way. Okay, I see how this works. Yeah.
What a journey that was for all of us.
Oh man, I usually try to cut out those bloop bloops, but there we have it, everybody. Not Not bad on the rankings. Not bad on the rankings. I agree with that. Azkaban still feels like the most special to me. Still think Chamber of Secrets is my number 2. Chamber of Secrets is good. Chamber of Secrets is underrated. I'm trying to think of the one that, like, I do think Goblet of Fire is definitely underrated. I think that one's definitely underrated. I do like that one a decent bit. I think Deathly Hallows Part 1, though, may be a little better. I don't know. It's been a minute.
You guys don't know how famous Michael Jackson was.
I tell people this shit all the time. I don't think people get it. I don't think any of y'all even, like some of y'all youngins, don't even understand. You don't even understand. Okay? People go like, oh my God, Beyonce. Michael Jackson had bigger and better hits at 12 years old than Beyonce has had in her entire career. In her entire career. I will put I Want You Back versus any Beyonce song, and it will stomp it. Stomp it. And we're not even going to get into just into the regular solo stuff. The Jackson 5 stuff alone is better than any Beyonce, better than any Taylor Swift, just the Jackson 5. And then he did even better shit past that. Get out of here, dog. Get out of here. It ain't even close.
They've got this biopic coming out soon, and it's clear from the discussion that people don't really grasp how big he was in the 1980s.
He got on the screen for the Super Bowl, and we all just looked at him for 2.5 minutes. What?
Like a while back, people used to post this meme asking if Beyonce had gotten bigger than Michael Jackson.
Fuck to the no. Not even remote.
And this is almost just a test of, were you...
Well, yeah, exactly. Were you alive during the time? Because if you were, you would know. And if you weren't, you'd go, Beyonce's bigger. Beyonce got more. No.
around in the 80s. And this is saying nothing against Beyonce or anyone else.
I'll say plenty of stuff against Beyonce, but that's just me. I'll do it for you, Jason. No worries.
It's kind of not possible to get...
Not even remotely more talent in Michael Jackson's pinky than all of Beyonce's body. It's not even close. And I don't think she's an untalented person. I don't. I think she's decently talented. Is she anywhere close to Michael Jackson? Why don't you just no? I was going to say no.
That big anymore. It's so hard to put it into numbers because the eras are so different. But for example, do you remember the fervor around Taylor Swift's album 1989? Okay, imagine.
I'm not even talking Thriller. Dangerous was bigger than 1989.
Imagine an album that sold that many copies 5 times over. Thriller had 7 top 10 singles. But I know those numbers.
It's just a banger after banger after banger on, like, you know, you'd have to have 5 Taylor Swift albums to get that many hits.
Numbers don't mean anything to you. And again, it's hard to compare across eras. And I can't convey the energy of this at the time. The sheer mania of it. The peak of Michael Jackson's popularity hit at exactly the right moment in history. The early to mid 1980s was a period where television had finally penetrated everywhere around the world.
Exactly. Everyone on the planet could see. And MTV, once they decided not to be racist, blew Michael Jackson up beyond anyone's possible imagination.
But it was...
But again, we already knew who Michael Jackson was at that point. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the man who was a star since he was 12.
Before the internet came along and exploded the number of celebrities and fragmented the audience in ways that would never unify again like this. There's a period when it seemed like he was on every magazine cover. And again, I know that's a meaningless metric to anybody under a certain age. But there's a solid few years when it seemed like the whole world was caught up in a hysteria.
This is crazy. This is ridiculous. There's so many people around here. I can't deal with all of this. I'm going to have to go hit this monkey.
This was, I believe, simply the most famous anyone had ever gotten. Now again, his peak did not last all that long, and the world really had turned against him by the mid-1990s. But there will never be anything like this again.
It was just too huge. Again, if you weren't there, you don't understand. And Michael Jordan's the exact same way. If you weren't there, you don't know any better. You just don't. And that's the sad part too. I grew up with LeBron James. I love LeBron James. He's the best that's ever was. He's all you've ever known, you dummy. Michael Jackson using Bohemian Rhapsody to promote its movie on the poster is not a good sign. Now, what did it say on the poster? Was it from the producer of? Because now the producer of that and the guy who ended up directing the latter half of that movie, and some might say actually really directed the whole thing because Bryan Singer had allegations that came out against him and everything. That guy would go on to direct Rocket Man, which was amazingly good. I don't know if that's the same guy that's doing this movie, but I will say that that is good. Lisa, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Lisa. The best part about that, too, is that it's Michael Jackson speaking, but not Michael Jackson singing. But Michael Jackson did approve the guy who did his singing for him, which is hilarious. Just goes like, you'll get me, but I'm not going to be singing for you. I'm going to leave that to Jacob. Jacob, go ahead and sing for the man. He does real good. And he does sing it. It's just like, son of a bitch, it's pretty good. It's just like, I told you. I wouldn't have hired son of a bitch if it wasn't good. Pretty sure it's about the best Michael Jackson impression you're going to hear today. You're welcome.
Somebody has to tell Quentin Tarantino at his ripe old age that the human body can only hold 8 liters of blood.
Hey! You let that man and subsequent Japanese films do whatever they want with blood. Thank you very much.
8 big soda bottles. That's it.
You let people have fun. Damn it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's come down to this. The last TikTok of the evening. And I'm going to be honest with you, folks. It's going to be a little scary. I know. I just hold on. Hold on to your hats. Wait a minute. I've never seen Rocket Man either, and I really liked Harlan Williams. Yeah, Rocket Man's great. Rocket Man's great if you do need to like musicals. You do need to like musicals. If you don't like musicals, you may not like it. But if you do like Elton John, you probably will like it. Taron Egerton is really great in it. He sings all the songs in it. So it's not like Bohemian Rhapsody where we give an Oscar to an asshole for just fucking lip syncing. We gave him an Oscar for lip syncing. Let that sink in. Absolutely insane. All right, last TikTok. Let's go. I just wanted her to come eat, and I get this. Okay, I don't like it.
Dylan, stop playing.
Good.
Why? Why? Why?
That's just like, oh God. He's far away, but he's still scaring you.
Dylan, stop. Stop. Stop, 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 stop.
Dylan, no. No, Dylan, don't. Get him. Get him.
Amora. Yo, you're about to... Yo, stop. All right, I quit. Look at me.
God, that's frightening.
Yo. Stop. All right, I quit.
A child scaring their own father. Oh my God, that is fantastic. Trade in the Oscar for 2 smaller statues, Millie and Vanilli. Oh man, those guys were great. Can we give out? Do we give our Grammys back now? Blame it on the rain. And I blame it on all of you for coming out this Tuesday, hitting that like and subscribe button. We really appreciate you coming out here. I've got to piss like a racehorse. But I promise you, we will return back here for another TikTok Trash Tuesday next Tuesday, same bat time, same bat channel, 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you've got TikToks, movie-related TikToks, I want you to send them to me. The link for my TikTok is in the show notes, so go click on that. Go follow me, and if you see some movie-related TikToks that you think I should cover on this here program, send them my way, and I will put them into the file, and we'll do it right here on TikTok Trash Tuesday because I'm a madman and I want some new and interesting things to check out. So do check out all of that, and check out HMP proper on Sunday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern. This week we are covering Rocky 3 as we are on our road to WrestleMania. And come on, man, it's Rocky 3. What do you want from us? And then we're going to be doing No Holds Barred after that. So we're going to be doing all that stuff very, very soon. So keep an eye out for that. Do hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for hanging out this evening. I really got to go. There's a super P happening for me. So we'll see you guys all next week. I love you. Bye-bye, everybody.